Hello, everybody. Dave Neal here, stand-up comic and host of Bachelor Nation News. Happy Saturday to all of you out there. Yes, that's right. We have a surprise weekend video. Do me a favor, hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already for the weekend content. If we get 50 new subscribers, maybe I'll do more weekend content. Hit the subscribe and like button right now. All right, Zach reveals what went wrong in the fantasy suite. This is super exciting. I was going to wait till Monday, and then I listened to the audio and I said, no, it's too good. I need to share it with you. Zach was on the Almost Famous podcast. They don't have any video clips up yet, but they do have the audio. He reveals the reason why, or the sort of awkwardness that happened in the fantasy suite, which led from him going from thinking he's falling in love with Rachel and thinking he might be, proposing and all these things to awful crickets. And here's what was said back when it initially happened. And he said this: in the morning, I'm expected to feel more in love with the future Mrs. Shallcross. Zach told the cameras, nothing coming out of tonight can change that. By the way, it's presumptuous to think that she's going to change her last name, but either way. Something did change that, though, as the cameras caught an awkward morning after between the couple. In a confessional, Zach revealed more about that night, sharing that Rachel had asked if he was ready for marriage at age 25, which is several months younger than her 26. It's like we were two strangers. I don't know what it could be, but Rachel's concerns came out of nowhere. I think it's bull. To be honest, she was putting on a front. That scares me. That scares me a lot. So Zach noted that he was blindsided by Rachel's age concerns, stating, I thought I saw this future with her, and just to be completely gut punched and not feeling it at all, it's shocking. So the question is, what the hell went down? A lot of people were thinking, oh, maybe they had this weird talk about politics or were on the wrong page about certain ideological issues. Zach explains it right here. We're going to get into it right now. Do me a favor, if you haven't already, check out my podcast, Bachelor Rush Hour. I give you extra behind the scenes content every single weekday afternoon. If you haven't already, subscribe to it now. Link in the comment section below. All right, let's listen to what Zach had to say as Ashley interviewed him leading up to his season premiere of The Bachelor on Monday.
Let us wrap this up with two questions. One, I've been dying to ask you for a while, but first, was the experience overall positive? Are you happy now?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. Now, that smile was telling. So I do think that for the first time in a while, we might have a happy ending that actually remains happy for a while and there's no drama at a reunion.
Oh my God.
We'll see. We'll see.
It would actually kind of be nice. As much as we do love that drama at the live show,
Get to the drama.
it's about time we just get a happy couple that we can feel good about.
Yes, I would like that.
Yeah,
I would
we'll
like
have
that.
to see. We'll have to see.
Okay. And finally,
Please.
Zach, what the heck happened between you and Rachel in the fantasy suite?
Tell us.
Because we feel like we're missing a lot.
Yeah, I mean, a lot did happen last season, especially with the fantasy suite. Essentially what it came down to was there was a complete lack of communication. So with Rachel and I, our relationship was getting stronger and stronger through the show and all of our dates, and it would completely kind of fall off when we wouldn't see each other and we wouldn't talk. And when we got to the actual fantasy suite and had that time to fully just talk and figure everything out before the most important day of our lives, possibly, she treated me like I was a complete stranger.
Whoa.
Like, how so?
Whoa.
It was think of it like this, you're with someone, you're with a boyfriend or a girlfriend or a husband or wife, and you love them, and they start just interviewing you like it's like your first interview at a job. They don't even look at you the same. They don't look at you with any love or any feelings, and it's just treating you like a stranger.
Zach, where do you see our relationship in 5 years?
And it was just bam, 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 interview questions, this and that, and there was no comfort there, and there was everything. I don't want to divulge into the actual details for respect for both Rachel and I, but
Divulge.
It was just
Dive in.
everything was just almost like a rapid fire and everything was never like a good answer, and I was just never good enough. And then it just like the night was ending before going to bed of just like we were just both sitting there next to each other and just like this can't be true. Like this can't be like how like we see each other or how we spend.
Can this be true? Tell me, can this be real? How is Rachel Recchia hard to deal with in the fantasy suite?
Time together, and like does she even like care for me like in the same way I feel for her, or even at all? And after like having some time like after everything and having to make that tough move was like looking back at it as a whole, and to me the only way I could like really like justify and like rationalize it, and after talking with her at the show, was that her heart was with someone else at that point, and she couldn't communicate that to me the right way.
Yeah, she was looking for an out. She was like, so where do you see, you ever have that conversation with someone where like, no matter what you say, they have a rebuttal, and it's like, I don't think there's any winning this conversation. And I guess that's where it was. Now, she could have just said, hey, I'm going to pick somebody else. Maybe that cross-examining could work if they were more compatible. But obviously, look, we like Rachel, but obviously Rachel's communication, when it's not in the positive direction, is flawed on the show. We see kind of like, man, it's hard to describe. Now, look, this isn't to say that, everyone's got communication issues. And this was just one of those moments where he's in the fantasy suite. When you're in the fantasy suite, you should be one shot away from winning the game, right? You are literally right there with everyone else. You are in it. You are in the final four, the final three. You're ready to go. But it looked like he just lost before, the game even started.
Hey, we're communicating everything, good or bad. Like, let me know like who you are, or it's going to come out.
Okay. Well, I feel like that is definitely going to be something that is part of the theme of this season. Yeah. And it probably makes fantasy suites a really big deal for you, and not even in a sexual way, just in like I got to get to know these girls in a private setting way.
Yeah, of course. And it's like the last thing I want is any of the women to be blindsided, or to not feel like that they know like where I stand or like where my heart is at, because it sucks like when you have that like heartbreak, or when you're just so caught off guard and you're like asking so many questions and you're confused. Like, I wanted to minimize that as much as possible.
All right, well, guys, I feel like I have just scratched the surface with Zach. We're about to get to know him a lot more throughout this season. And we personally are going to get to know him a lot more because he is coming to Carmel, California with us in about a week and a half. We're really excited. He's going to be doing interviews with Bob Guinea on our crossover podcast and with Ben.
All right, so anyway, that was Ashley. Look, Ashley's good at what she does. Ashley's a good podcaster. She asks questions. She's got the benefit of being an alumni, so she has the insider kind of scoop, but she also watches and asks questions as a fan. She might be one of the best podcasters in the Bachelor world, if you ask me. All right, and she's just got a good energy, and I like that about her. All right, well, Zach says it was never good enough, and it makes you wonder, will Zach live up to that feeling where he wants to be as communicative as possible with everybody? It might be bad for production because they might not be able to get the hysteria out of the contestants because of the unknown. A lot of times when you know where you stand, it takes away that kind of kind of vibe where you're just anxious all the time. But it could lead to deeper love, and we're excited to see how it all plays out. Very fascinating stuff. I'd love to know what you think. Hey, look, no hate on Rachel. She tried her best, okay? She also was coming into that season right after Clayton's heartbreak, and with Clayton, her and Gabby kind of came to the assumption we don't want to be treated the way that Clayton treated us. But what they probably learned is it's very hard. There's always going to be collateral damage when you're pursuing love because not everyone is going to get it. Right, folks? Let me know what you think. If you want, go check out Bachelor Rush Hour, the podcast, if you're not caught up on all the news. Also, I've got a ton of new content. This morning on Saturday, I did a patreon.com/Dave Neal if you want to check out the behind the scenes, and I'll talk to you all later. Have a good weekend, everybody. See you Monday.